down on the right, you see effects requirement. That's a requirement of effects. So I can immediately see if I'm Bob, okay, here's a task that was assigned to me for Deb. What requirement does that affect? Now, Bob can also zero in on that particular requirement. He can make changes. He can show what links that requirement has to other requirements. So you see the little graph there. In this case, Bob's making a change to that requirement. So this is in Requirements Composer right now. Now it's seamless going between Team Concert and Requirements Composer. It's seamless. Now here's following the same scenario. He's going to now assign that change request to Scott. Scott is the enterprise architect. So Scott looks at his dashboard and says, well, okay, I have this change request is assigned to me. Let me hover over and get a look what it is. I can get more detail on that particular change request. And then you can come into System Architect and run a report that I can see that change request is related to requirement 750. I can do a search on, okay, here's requirement 750. What is it linked to? In this case, it's linked to one system function. So that we're saying that requirement is linked to a system function. So that, this is a new requirement or a modified requirement, I'm going to have to check out that system requirement. But before I do that, in this scenario, we're letting a change request govern that any changes made to the architecture and any changes made to the requirements. So we're going to link that system function that we just saw in the report, and in the bottom right you say we're going to link it to a work item. We're going to link it to that original task that was in Team Concert. So this is where the linking is done. And once you get the linking, you see that little sideways red triangle. That is an OSLC link to, in this case, something in Team Concert. It is also linked to objects in Requirements Composer. We don't have it for this scenario, but it also can be linked to something in Design Manager, which may be a low-level Rhapsody artifact. So that's one way of linking from System Architect to Design Manager, System Architect to Rhapsody is through Design Manager. Just following a scenario, we're going to reassign this particular task to the developer. And we can come down and notice, we can say, okay, the developer may look at it and say, well, what is this linked to? It's account open. Well, he can actually hover over account open and say, this is the developer now. Deb is also the web developer. He can say, well, what diagram is this linked to? Well, it's linked to a use case diagram in System Architect. So I'm hovered over that use case diagram. I can show that use case diagram, and you can actually connect to System Architect XT if you want to bring it up alive in an XT view as opposed to a preview here. In this case, then they're going to assign this particular change request, first they're going to update the WSDL, update the items. They're going to add items to version control. This is all the developer side of things. They're going to incorporate this into a build. So they're going to go through their particular change lifecycle, and then they're going to assign it to QA.
Michael, I want to make a comment, but what Mike mentions is kind of critical. When I link my change request in System Architect to RTC, in RTC I can do a link back to System Architect through SAXT. By the way, all this integration is inherent, as I mentioned. There's nothing extra for you to do except 3 steps or 4 steps within the configuration. But what's important though, if I'm a solution architect, if I'm a Rhapsody doing systems, and I'm not using Design Manager, but I'm into RTC where I have an assigned task, and where my enterprise architect said the following web service or the following system is being impacted, I don't have to have System Architect installed on my system, because from Rhapsody, because of the link back, I can view the diagram that my enterprise architecture is talking about. My enterprise architect is talking about. So I can have this view of it, and then I can proceed with my changes downstream.
Would you elaborate the relationship between Jazz, the Design Manager, and RTC? That's the unknown. Okay. That's what my part.
So Jazz,
Rhapsody's fine, System Architect's fine.
so Jazz is a framework, so you don't buy Jazz. What you buy is Rational Team Concept. Rational Team Concept is a Jazz-based product that has, it's the maestro, right? It has the process, it has collaboration, it has project management, etc. Design Manager is yet another Jazz-based product that allows you to have the seamless, the integrate that allows you to views between the different models, such as that are in Rhapsody and or System Architect. It's a view into those models. It's like it's another, just another product.
You think of Jazz as all one environment, one seamless environment where the user interface looks the same and so forth. And there's different pieces of Jazz. There's a piece that manages the requirements. There's a piece that manages your change requests and tasks and defects. There's a piece that manages your designs. That would be Design Manager. There's a piece that manages your test cases. So it's like it's all the same tool. You know, if you actually use it usage-wise, it looks like it's all the same tool, but they're different pieces in the same tool.
So it's just the infrastructure to allow you to do what you need to do. But then the products you buy is, you don't buy Jazz, you buy Team Concert, you buy Rational Composer. Later on you can buy the doors next. You buy Design Manager, you buy Quality Manager, you buy Rational Asset Manager. All those products exploit the Jazz platform to be able to get those skills.
And a product like System Architect and Rhapsody are outside the Jazz interface, but we use OSLC to link them into. Like here's a good example of looking at it all at once. This is just a lifecycle query. I believe these are change requests or tasks here. This particular task here. Okay, this task is it's elaborated by this architectural element. This could be pointing to a system architect diagram. It affects this particular requirement. It implements another requirement. It's tested by this test case. So since all these are part of the Jazz environment, you can run these type of reports.
That's continuous traceability throughout the life cycle aspects. So that's
This is just a report on the system architect side, where we're just showing all the different links.